What's up, guys? Matt Brown from the LSR Podcast. Thanks for joining me and Dustin and Adam right here on the channel each and every week. And while you're here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, give us a thumbs up, and let us know in the comments if there's anything you'd like us to tackle in a future episode. But without further ado, here's a clip from episode number 62. Guys, we have some research coming from the AGA. We were talking about bettors a little bit earlier here, Dustin, and there was some research on the illegal markets out there as well.
Yeah, the AGA put some information out that was interesting from polling of bettors and activity in the United States. And some of it's encouraging, some of it's discouraging. One of the most interesting things I thought we talked about with Casey a little bit is that 3/4 of the responses poll said it's important to use only legal U.S. sports books. But at the same time, we have in their polling almost half of bettors bet with an illegal sports book at the same time. Now that's obvious. Sometimes you don't even have an option. Sometimes the options might be better depending on where you are. But this is I'm encouraged mostly just because I know the AGA has taken this on as an important issue, and it should be an important issue to everybody they represent and the burgeoning U.S. sports betting industry. Because unless you push back on what's going on offshore, both from media perspective to how you advertise, all of that, we're always going to be spinning our wheels. Yes, there will be a lot of betting out of the gate, but you're still competing with customers and search results and all of that, as we talk about all the time here. So for me, I'm just encouraged that the AGA is pushing this as an issue. Hopefully they'll continue doing this, and the polling is one example of that, and trying to educate people and the media writ large as we try to get as sports betting becomes more widely practiced.
Yeah, Adam, I think that this is maybe the one thing that I would really advocate from the AGA a little bit more is just more awareness out there to the people that aren't in the industry. We live and breathe this and on a day-to-day basis. So when we see the quote unquote, and if you're watching the video, you're seeing this, and if not, if you're listening to the podcast, I'm doing the air quotes right here, the Vegas lines for something, or Vegas says this and whatever. And then you read down, and of course it's like, some press release that was sent out from an offshore book, and it's getting published as, Vegas lines or whatever it might be. So I think an awareness campaign from the AGA to just sports writers in the United States that are going to be writing about this coming in the future. I mean, it is coming to your state or a state that is next to your state. And so you are going to be asked to write about this, and they're going to be asked to write about this. So at least knowing what they're talking about and knowing where to go get the correct information, I really do like an awareness campaign from them.
When you have a prominent offshore that has been using .lv as its address for many years, then it's hard to blame sports writers who haven't known much about the legal market, who now have to cover the legal market, for having some confusion in there. And of course, we talk about sports writers because that is one of the more common ways that people are getting their information. But that's not just writers, that's of course TV personalities, radio personalities as well. And what happens is the more salacious sorts of things that you can bet on. I saw one today about betting on global warming, betting on celebrity divorces. Like, they say Vegas has odds up on these things. Vegas has no odds up on these things. Regulated markets do not have odds up on these sorts of things. So, I know that you and Dustin and I certainly feel this way, that we're doing some shouting into the void about, hey, you're quoting an offshore book, right? Like, we yell it and we yell it and we yell it, and it feels like we're in the forest and there's nobody else there saying it. So yes, having an industry trade group like the AGA pushing this, and frankly, having some more major media companies being involved in legal sports betting themselves goes a long way to this, right? We saw ESPN, once it was tied up with Caesars, begin to quote the Caesars odds more regularly and make it so that you were getting a legal book being put out in front of people. You might see it with CBS and William Hill as well, coming up as a way of their partnership manifesting. So there are ways of doing it, but I think we have to, everyone within the bubble of legal US sports betting needs to acknowledge just how long it was that the offshores had the market to themselves in terms of this publicity, and realize that it's going to take a steep education curve to bring people back over to the idea of, no, you should be quoting legal books.
Guys, as a reminder, the full version of this podcast can be found over at LegalSportsReport.com, as can the written breakdown of every topic we talk about on the show each and every week. Thanks for watching.